Hi there, my name's Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm talking about Helix 3.0, the new amp models. So I've made it quite clear now, Helix 3.0 is really fantastic. Congratulations Line 6, you're going in just the direction I wanted you to with the poly effects, the sustainer, the stereo imaging, all this stuff that just makes sound bigger and things that you cannot do in the analog world so easily. But here's the amazing thing. Two of the profiles that I love on the Kemper are the VH4 and the Fender Princeton. They put two of my favorite models in the Helix. This is awesome and they sound great. So I've done comparisons in the past where I've just thrown a profile in and I've mic'd an amp and I've loaded up a Helix preset and I've posted comparisons and asked you what you think. And I know comparisons can be really, really dangerous because how can you compare two things that are so different? Different microphones create different EQs, different mic placement, different amps, different pedals. It's so hard to compare one thing to another. But I thought, as these are here and I use the stomp and the floor and native, I need to know how these compare to the Kemper profiles. So here's what I've done. I have recorded the Princeton profile through a looper. I'm using the Eros looper from Singular Sound. I'll put a link below if you want to check it out. Recorded my guitar dry into that. This is a SSS Strat, my blue Fender Strat's behind me. And I've recorded that straight in through the loop. So the playing is going to be the same both times. So you're going to hear the Kemper profile and cab, no other effects. And then you're going to hear the Helix model. This is the amp and cab, no other effects as well. I've tried to match the volumes. I've tried to do all that stuff that I can. Let me play them back to back, and then you tell me in the comments below which one you prefer, or if you can hear any particular differences here. Here we go. So what did you think of that? I'm absolutely personally blown away. They both sound incredible, and I managed to tweak the Line 6 one to sound the same with not much work. I'm really super happy with that, and that is now my go-to clean sound. One problem with clean amps in the past with the Fender is that it's a very low output guitar with bright pickups, and I found that sometimes it can be too shrill in certain clean amps on the Helix, but this amp is perfect for that guitar, and now it's my go-to clean sound. So this brings me on to the VH4. Now the VH4 in the Kemper, the profile that comes with the Kemper is absolutely brilliant because it sounds great even with that SSS guitar. Sounds just big and monstrous and thunderous even just on its own. So this profile is made by Guido Bungenstock. I actually reached out to him on Facebook. He's a nice guy. And I said, do you remember what you used to profile this amp and what are the settings? And he couldn't remember. So what I did was the same thing again. I recorded the guitar into the profile, into Logic, and then I recorded the dry guitar, and using Helix Native, I tried to tone match it. Well, let me tell you, this wasn't as easy. This took me hours and hours and hours last night. To be fair, I got pretty close pretty quick, but I wanted to get as close as I possibly could. So what I did was I just guessed. I went through different settings. Okay, I have to say the model in the Helix sounds pretty great even just with stock settings. And by the way, these are the stock cabs, not IRs. I mean, the stock cabs, I guess, are IRs, right? But I had to guess what Guido may have used for the profile. He may well tell me in the future, he may remember, but I assumed if you're going to profile the VH4, you're going to use a 4x12. So I used a 4x12 cab. And then for the settings, I just couldn't get quite exactly the same. So what I did was I thought, what would I do if I was going to profile a VH4? Well, I'd probably put all the settings on 10 because that's something that you cannot do in a room like this. So it's something that'd be so great for a profile. So in the end, I put all the settings on 10. The sound was still pretty scooped on the profile. So I loaded up a post EQ like you might get on a Mesa Boogie amp. And I just took out some mids and I tried to shape it like that, and I got pretty close. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did something like that, because if you're going to profile an amp like a VH4, why not profile it on 10? So let's check it out. I think I got super close, certainly a lot closer than I've been before. So let's check it out now. So I feel they're a lot more similar than different. I've listened back and forth many times, but they just both sound awesome. Remember, that's single coil pickups with no drive pedals pushing it or anything. That's just the amp. And I'm not concerned today about is that a good tone or not. I just wanted to do an A-B comparison between the two, because it seems to me that the modeling in the Helix is getting better all the time, as I assume it would, because the Helix has been out for 5 years, in development probably for 7 or 8 years, right? So I'm sure that the amp modeling process is improving all the time. But I really think with this update, they've knocked out the park, and these are the two amps that I'll be going to for 99% of my stuff. But this video is not a knock on the Kemper. Indeed, I think it shows why it's such a great device. If you have an amp set up with EQs and pedals the way you want it, you can capture that sound and take that sound with you with no work. Whereas with a modeler like the Helix, you're going to load in the amp and then adjust it to get the sound you want. And what is the sound you want? What is your reference? Today, my reference was a Kemper profile. Maybe look online for some reference recordings, isolated guitar tracks, and use those to create your patches on the Helix. There's definitely more work to be done. Obviously, the more you use the Helix and modeling, the better and faster you'll get at it. I can clearly see why people are fans of profiling, because if you have a great amp and a rig ready to go, you just capture it and you go. You haven't got to sit down and actually make your patches. So this has been super fun for me. It was a lot of work, but I really enjoyed it. And it's fun to do these things. Like I said, I'm not taking it too seriously. I'm not comparing like for like here. I just think these new amp models are a real step above, and they're doing a great job at Line 6. And they should be praised for that. This really is an awesome update. If you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and ring the bell. And I'll be back soon with more videos on Helix 3.0, more comparisons, demos, and I also use the HX Stomp in my weekend performances on Sundays at 4 p.m. EST. So please join me then if you can. Be well, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.